One of the greatest achievements of Three's Company was its ability to take ordinary problems and transform them into unforgettable entertainment. There were no world-changing events. No villains trying to destroy everything. No impossible adventures that only existed in fantasy. Instead, the stories focused on situations that almost everyone has experienced at some point in life. Running late. Trying to impress someone. Keeping a harmless secret. Feeling embarrassed. Making the wrong first impression. Those moments may seem small, but they are deeply human. And that's exactly why they worked so well. Imagine coming home after a long day at work. You're tired. Your mind is still thinking about everything that happened during the day. Then you turn on the television and watch Jack Tripper trying to explain a misunderstanding that somehow becomes worse with every sentence. For 30 minutes, your own problems disappear. Instead, you're laughing at someone else's impossible situation. That kind of escape is incredibly valuable. Comedy has always offered people a chance to step away from everyday stress. Three's Company understood that responsibility. It never asked audiences to think about complicated mysteries or emotional tragedies. It simply invited them to laugh. Sometimes that's exactly what people need. Another reason the series connected with viewers was its honesty about imperfection. None of the characters had perfect lives. Money could be tight. Plans often failed. Dates didn't always go well. Jobs created unexpected challenges. Friendships required patience. The apartment itself wasn't glamorous. It was simply home. Because of that, audiences recognized pieces of their own lives inside the show. Viewers didn't need to imagine living in a mansion or becoming famous. They only needed to remember what it felt like to share a home with people they cared about. That emotional familiarity gave every episode an extra layer of warmth. The comedy never felt distant. It felt personal. One particularly charming quality of the show was how often optimism defeated frustration. At the beginning of an episode, everything might appear hopeless. Jack could believe his life was about to fall apart. Janet might be struggling to make sense of another ridiculous misunderstanding. Chrissy could unknowingly add even more confusion to the situation. Yet somehow, by the end, life continued. Friendships survived. The apartment returned to normal. Everyone found another reason to smile. That hopeful rhythm became one of the show's defining characteristics. It quietly reminded viewers that difficult moments rarely last forever. Today's embarrassment becomes tomorrow's funny story. Today's misunderstanding becomes next week's happy memory. There is something deeply comforting about that message. Perhaps that's why people often describe classic sitcoms as comfort television. The audience knows that everything will eventually be okay. That certainty allows viewers to relax. They can enjoy the journey without worrying about devastating consequences. Three's Company excelled at creating that sense of security. No matter how complicated the situation became, the apartment always felt like a safe place to return. The laughter never came from cruelty. It came from recognition. We've all stumbled over our words. We've all misunderstood someone's intentions. We've all wished we could rewind an awkward conversation and start over. Watching Jack experience those moments with exaggerated enthusiasm made our own mistakes seem much less serious. Instead of feeling embarrassed about our imperfections, we learned to smile at them. That's a surprisingly powerful gift. The series also celebrated resilience in quiet ways. Every episode presented a new challenge. Every episode forced the characters to adapt. Anne,